Hi guys, this is Wmwesports Season 2, this is the Mexican Grand Prix. This is the end of our qualifying lap now as we go into the stadium section. We're down in P7 at the moment. We've improved our time slightly by 4/10 of a second, nearly half a second. Don't have a great exit coming out of the Mansell corner, the old Peraltada. But that wasn't, and that kept us P7 on the grid, a second and a half off pole. So hopefully we'll have a much better race and aim for a top 5 finish. And so we're on the starting grid now as 2, 3, 4 lights, 5 lights. How we go, that was a very quick light. Looks as though we've got a better start than Rob on the right of us. But Metcalf is flying on the inside of Rob as well. We're going to get past Rob. Chris moves over slightly. We've got to take a bit of avoiding action. We'll move on to his outside. We've got the inside for this corner, but it's too tight. We're going to have to back out. There's a bit of contact there. Chris stops dead in front of us. We're going to have to brake. I think we got away with that one as the safety car now comes out.
No overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep your delta number.
And so here's a replay of the start. We get away quite well, but Metcalf behind us gets an amazing start. And he's already past Rob. So I thought I'd had a good start. So there's a spider on the camera there. So here we are. So this, we take the avoiding action. We go on the outside of Chris. There's not enough room to go side by side for that corner, so we don't. As Niari hits us, he spun. Chris broke in front of us. We avoided him just about, but with no damage to the wing. And the safety car's about to go in. Mataman, the lead, is going to take this as slow as he can. As Mini gets out of shape coming out of Mansell corner. And we may have a run on him. Going down this really, really long straight. Into the Solana complex. We're on his inside. But he's able to take more speed going into there. We may get another run on him though because he's taken not the best of lines. He gets a bit squirmy coming out of there as well. I think his tyres must be cold. So he shows us the outside. It's quite tight going through here. He pushes us to the side a little. We're not going to make it here. And as we head now towards the S's. Because of Mini's poor safety car restart, we've dropped off from those in front of us a little bit. As Michelando will want to put pressure on us from behind as well. As we go into the stadium complex on lap 4. Myself and Mini have caught up with those ahead. As Mataman, the leader, puts in the fastest lap. We've already broken that 1 second gap to Michelando, sorry, behind us. DRS not on this lap, he'll be on the next lap of course. So we need to try and get in within 1 second of the cars in front of us. Car's really heavy with fuel at this point just because I put it on lean as we were going under the safety car. So we're keeping in touch with those in front of us so they're not running away from us. Mini's probably got the pace. Once he gets past Matty he'll streak away from us, so it's really Matty and Skarma we're going to have the battle with. We're normally closer on pace. Mataman and Mini probably a bit too quick for us, although it looks as though Skarma is keeping pace with Mataman in the lead.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now
DRS enabled. We've got more than a second gap to Michelando behind us, so that's worked to our benefit. There's a yellow flag somewhere. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. No sniff of a safety car though. As Mini Laverick gets ahead of Matty ahead of us. And that will have slowed Matty down sufficiently that we will be within a 1 second of him once we get onto the next lap. As long as we can stay where we are. So these two battling in front of us has been really good. It's meant we've been able to catch up. Our tyres still feel okay here as well on a track that's notable for having poor tyre wear, well, high tyre wear should I say. And we're streaking that gap to Michelando behind us as well. And that's poor through there. As we run wide going for the S's. We will have the benefit of DRS though, so we shouldn't lose touch of Matty too much. Matty just has a lot more traction than we do coming out of the last corner. Named after Nigel Mansell, of course, after his move around what was the original corner there on Gerhard Berger all those years ago. So we're getting closer to Matty at this point now, on lap 7. And so we might be able to make a move now. But I don't think we're quite close enough. As Matty runs wide there.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
So after starting P7, the race is really starting to come to us now. Matty is not in DRS range of Mini in front of him either. So this is a very good battle now at this stage of the race. As we're a bit too loud on the throttle pedal there.
Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the softs.
But we may be close enough to Matty here, you know. Although I think he's using all his ERS as well, and we're not able to use all of ours. So the secret here, I think, we'll be getting through this sequence of corners. But we've got a good gap at the moment to those cars behind us. Rodders on the mediums may come into play depending on when we stop. As we run wide there, we give Matty a bit more of an advantage. This Mini in third isn't pulling away from us. I wonder if he had wing damage. It looked as though he instant in the first lap, so I wonder if he had any wing damage. Which is why he's not pulling away as quickly as I thought he would from me and Matty. As we get a little bit sideways there. We may not be within 1 second of Matty now. We are, luckily. That was very close. And so on lap 9 I'm going to decide to pit. Do the undercut on Matty, maybe even Mini. And as we come out the pit, we're going to come out behind Brown Dog. We made enough of a gap. If you remember, I said we might have to watch the gap to Rodders on the mediums behind us. We've made enough of a gap. We're going to be behind Brown Dog and Metcalf who are battling. We're just so much quicker on these fresh softs than Brown Dog on his old hards, though, and we're going to streak straight past him coming out of the Solana complex. So it's time to really make these tyres work. We don't want to be caught up in traffic, so we're going to try and undercut Matty. But I think we may have been wiser pitting another lap because we've been dropped right in traffic here. So we're going to have to follow Metcalf now through the S's. Although Metcalf is showing good pace, we're going to have to back off a bit there though. We've got the DRS, he doesn't fight too much. As we come into the stadium. And now it's Rob that's ahead of us. and Mick's just ahead of him. So this will be interesting to see. Laverick's pitted. We should come out in front of Laverick. Matty has pitted for the mediums. There he is. We've made it. That undercut's worked. We're just behind Mattoman now. So that's worked. So Mattoman's in traffic. He's behind Rob and Mick there. And there's been a collision there. Rob's off the road. That's Rob's race over. And we will have a VSC. And so as the VSC finishes, we're behind Mattoman. And we are within a second of him. He's caught up in traffic behind Mick. So we take an interesting line through there. Mick's tyres must feel horrible at this moment. And so we're going to try and get a double toe. We're going to try and get a toe off both of them. We're going to get past Mick. We're going to go through the middle a little bit. Mick's on our inside. We give him enough room. And so we weren't able to undercut Scammer, but he's on medium, so we will be on a slower tyre. So I'm hoping myself and Mattoman, because it's important for our strategies. They're going to go soft, medium, soft. We're going soft, soft, medium. So they'll be quicker at the end of the race, so we need to build a gap now. We need to do it before our tyres go off. You can see Mattoman's all over Scammer. We want a piece of this action as well. So we need to make our move quite soon. Because during this time I've picked up a 3-second penalty as well. Matty hasn't. Matty's quite unlikely to ever pick up penalties. He's normally very consistent when it comes to track limits. So we need to build that gap. We're not going to be close enough to Scammer at this point. He's got DRS as well, which he's going to use on Mattoman. As they go through the corner very, very closely. He's got past Mattoman. This is ruining Mattoman's race, who gets a bit squirmy coming out of there. We might have a run on Mattoman now. We're not quite close enough to do a dive up that inside, because the corner is so tight, it'll just end in tears. And so Mattoman had a lot of pace in the initial stages of the race, but this will be ruining him at the moment. For this strategy to work for me and Mattoman, we needed a clear track really, so we could stretch our legs on the soft, and that's not what's happening. As Mattoman thinks of a move there, we've got to take avoiding action. I realise who's going to come over. And so Mattoman may get the jump on Scammer here. We are quicker than Matty at the moment, but not quick enough. It's going to be very, very close towards the end of this race. As Mattoman's going to get past Scammer again. And so we need to do the same. And we might very well do here. We get a good run, but we touch the curb, so we lost a bit of traction. We're going to go on Scammer's inside. We're going to hold that inside line. And we're going to cut the inside line off there so we don't get the switch back. So it's just a case now of following Mattoman. Because he's going to need to catch up with Mini Laverick in front of him for him to have any chance of the win here. Because of that traffic for me and Mattoman, it's going to be difficult. And so on lap 19, I didn't make much of a gap. And now my tyres are starting to crumble. And so Scammer's all over the back of me. Matty not far behind either. So we're going to have to defend here from Scammer, whose mediums are probably in a lot better state than my softs are at this time. So that's P3 to P4. And that's another silly penalty picked up as well.
You've been awarded a time penalty for that last incident.
And my tyre's not wanting to bite when I press on the accelerator. And as you can see, my tyre warning light comes on. I'm really struggling now. And the choice is I'm going to pit this lap and see if I can get an undercut. Because I'm just losing time now. So on lap 26, Matty'd already pitted, Skarma pitted, we're ahead of the both. Matty jumped Skarma in the midst of all that as well. And so now I've just got 10 laps of defending from a lot faster cars on faster tyres. And I've got to hope that Skarma and Matty battle, or that by the end of the race they're soft tyres and knackered like they were for me on the end of my second stint compared to these mediums. But I pitted quite early for the mediums, so I'll be struggling for tyre life towards the end as well. Matterman and Mini are in a different race ahead of me, but this is the battle for third. Matty at this point probably quick enough if he could get past me to catch up with Matterman. But I'm not going to give away the position too easily. I have got penalties, but you never know what can happen. As Murray Walker used to famously say, F1 is if spelt backwards. And so as we start lap 27, Matterman is ahead of Mini Laverick, although Mini Laverick will be on much quicker tyres. And actually I think Mini Laverick is now ahead. So on those quicker tyres, that's probably first and second place sorted. But there's still one hell of a race for the final podium position. My plan behind me starting to work a little bit. I backed Matty up into Skarma. Skarma's got penalties as well, so he's going to want to get past the both of us. This is a very, very familiar scene for this season. Me, Matty, Skarma battling. Podium place on the line. It's happened in a lot of races. I've been in poor form in some of the most recent races, haven't had a podium since Spa. But I've always been there or thereabouts in the top 5. With the pace of Mini and Matterman, top 2's normally unachievable. We had one win of course earlier in the season. So third place is the realistic goal. Matty might be closer to us now on lap 28. He hasn't got the straight line speed that we've got though. But he might do this time. We had a poor exit off that corner, but I don't think he's close enough. And even in the car now I can feel Matty's frustration behind it because we're so slow compared to him in the corners. And we're losing time hand over fist to Matterman in front of us. Because with the strategy that Matty and Skarma have got, they've probably got a really good chance of second place here. But I'm frustrating them. The Skarma's going to go for the move behind me. Contact's made. I don't think it's enough though, but it will give me a reprieve for the start finish straight on this lap. Actually, I'm not sure. Matty's a lot closer. I think Matty's had enough of this. Matty's a lot closer. He'll use DRS. ERS for some reason doesn't last very long on this track. Matty's definitely a lot closer. I don't know if he's close enough though. He's going to try it. No, he's not close enough. We managed to cut him off. And he'll be fuming in that car. Although Matterman in second has got penalties, and this train of cars are catching him. So Matty probably does have a chance at second, but he'll need to get past me. And he'll need to really use them soft tyres. With the penalties I've got, fourth is probably a better option for me at the moment, and third, but who knows. It's important, even if Matty gets past us, so we try and keep Skarma behind, but their pace is so much stronger at this point. So Matty thinks of having a look going into the stadium section. We get a poor exit coming out of Mansell. We're running very, very low on ERS, and Matty's probably going to have us here as he gets into the slipstream. He's going to go on our outside. We haven't got the braking power. Paul fancies to go as well. We're going to cut him off. Well, this was Matty's move. We showed him the outside. There wasn't much we could do. Paul tried to have a go. We cut him off. But I'm sure by the next lap, Skarma behind will want to go with us. It's tempting if Skarma does get past us to pit for a fresh soft. Go for the fastest lap for an extra couple of points. But there's always risk when it comes to that, especially from pushing on a game or penalty. As Matty now is ahead by over a second. We're in lean, we're trying to conserve a bit of fuel for that start finish straight to defend against Skarma. As we come up to a back marker, which Matty will probably get DRS from, we won't. As we run right, going into Mansell, as we go on to the long start finish straight on the run down to the Solana complex. Skarma is much closer. We've run out of ERS, there's not a lot we can do, we're quite defenceless here. We park it in the middle. Skarma's ahead of us before we even get to the corner. As we come up to lap Brown Dog. And so that's P5 for us. Matty will try and push on for second now. I don't think Paul's going to be able to because of the gap in his penalties. We're in P5. If we pit now with our penalties, Laverick's in P7, but he's only 26 seconds behind, so it's a difficult decision to make because he'll be flying on them softs as well. I'm going to choose not to and consolidate what I've got. I think P5's a good result as we run wide there, and we run wide again. So a bit of a lack of composure now. So secret is just to bring it home for P5. And as we come to the last lap, the fireworks are in the stadium section. Our tyres are almost dead. Struggling to get the power down as we come out of Mansell for the final time. As Matty did get P2 due to them penalties. We're going to finish P5. We've probably lost third in the championship now. So a poor end to the season for us. No podiums, 6 or 7 races. 2 DNFs in the last few races. Well done to Laverick, driver of the day. Podium, Mini Laverick, Matty, man. Some very, very good action. Disappointed with the result slightly. Our strategy didn't quite pay off, just because we were stuck behind Scammer for a while whilst we were on the softs. But a very, very good race nonetheless.